I understand that there are some people that are tired of me talking about Joe Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
You have to get all the way over that because we got a long election cycle we're coming up against here.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes.
Because the truth is, Joe Biden has a long track record of lying.
When I was 17 years old, like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses of Wilmington, Delaware.
I came out of the civil rights movement. I was one of those guys that sat in and marched and all that stuff.
Lying like a rug. And black people, for some reason, black people in leadership have a long track record of defending his lies and telling a certain group of black people there's nothing to see here.
During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else. I was a suburbanite kid who got a dose of exposure to what was happening to black Americans when I'm in my own city.
Well, I ain't one of those black people that defend it. In fact, I'm one of those black people that do the opposite.
You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
I call it out.
But I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
Everyone knows that I support Dr. Cornel West.
And we got too many leaders, got too many black leaders running around laughing when it ain't funny and scratching when it don't itch and scared and intimidated and don't want to tell the truth.
But even if Dr. West was not running, I would not be supporting Joe Biden. Are we crystal clear? We clear here, all right? Because Joe Biden is a warmongering, lying, conniving, horrible. And I felt that way about him before he got elected. Okay? So, no, I'm not so scared of anything that I would actually support somebody like Joe Biden. I would never do that. So, anyway, here goes Joe Biden confirming everything I'm saying bad about him. Every bad thing I've ever said about him, here goes Joe Biden confirming that I was right.
Well, we've committed as a NATO member that we defend every inch of NATO territory. Then we'll have something that we don't seek and that we don't have today. American troops fighting Russian troops. American troops fighting Russian troops if he moves into other parts of NATO.
What is this corpse talking about? And don't get me wrong, man. We all want longevity. We want longevity for the people that we love. We want people to live long, beautiful lives. I get that. It's not an ageism thing, okay? But this guy is talking about war with Russia. And we defend the NATO allies and go to war with Russia. Why would that even come out of your mouth? There's not enough wrong that you're doing that you got to be at a press conference talking about if we defend NATO to the fullest extent, we would be at war with Russia and we'd have American troops fighting Russian troops. They don't care about your poor white ass or your poor black ass going to war over just going to war, period. He doesn't care about you sacrificing your life, your children sacrificing their lives for the endeavors of the empire. Get what I'm saying? When people are going to realize that it's all about their corporate greed and their corporate gain. And the United States is a company. The United States is a corporation looking to make profits, and they make profits off of war. Joe Biden's such a horrible president that he's got us involved in 2 more conflicts since taking office, and he's still at the bottom of the polls. See, most presidents, when they get us involved in war, that's the way they stay in office and get that second term. It ain't working for Joe Biden. That's how bad Joe Biden's doing. These are just little trivia facts that you can throw back at goofballs who tell you to vote blue anywho. See, most of the time when the president's doing bad, they do like George Bush and they go to war. And most of the time the public is against changing presidencies, changing administrations during a time of war. But America don't feel that way about Biden. We're like, get somebody else in there. Get somebody else in there. And that's the reason why we got the goofballs covering the debate with the GOP tonight who don't really have a problem with Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley will basically do exactly what Joe Biden's doing. Get what I'm saying? They're like the same. Like, people need to realize all this Democrat and Republican, these name tags, that don't mean they're not the same. Most of their policies line up right behind each other. What's the difference? A transgender bathroom or gay marriage? What do they really differ on? What does Nikki Haley and Joe Biden differ on, really? Don't say war. Lock, stop, and barrel, right in step with one another. DeSantis, what makes DeSantis so different from Biden? I'm trying to understand it. Oh, I know. He's really fascist. I think Joe Biden's just as every bit as racist as Ron DeSantis. Get what I'm saying? That's what I believe. As a Democrat, there's certain guardrails he's in. He's within certain boundaries of what he can do. But if you go back 20 years ago, he talked worse than DeSantis about black folks. Way worse. So we can try to keep a little bit of equilibrium when we're talking about the elections and stop trying to scare the hell out of black people in order to try to get us to vote. And black people, we need to stop allowing that to work. And I like the fact that more and more of us are realizing it's all smoke and mirrors, it's all a game to them. This is a clear indication of what I'm saying, guys, and I'm trying to find a way to thread the needle, because though I like other commentators' ability to reach certain audiences, I like the idea of reaching more than one audience at one time. And if I could somehow bring us together and like have the same message and tell them, like, look, they hate your ass too. If you broke, they hate you. I want to make that appeal, but these people's brains so infected with racism, I don't know if it'll stick. And black people so bad, so badly damaged by other black people that said they was going to fight for black people, but then end up selling out, that they, whenever, they get paranoid when you start talking like that. They're like, here he go. Here he go. Hey, look, I was raised a certain way. I got a certain outlook on life. But we got this guy talking about going to war with Russia. Going to war with Russia. If he's already doing horribly. It's like he woke up today and said, what could I do to make it worse? Yeah, I'll do something worse. Let me do some worse shit. Let me give them something else to hate me for. Joe Biden is so pathetic at this point. So pathetic at this point. Now they got him saying, look, I'm going to play it.
Well, we've committed as a NATO member that we defend every inch of NATO territory. Then we'll have something that we don't seek and that we don't have today. American troops fighting Russian troops. American troops fighting Russian troops if he moves into other parts of NATO.
All right. He said, yeah, if he still wants to go to war with Russia over Ukraine, that's because Biden wants to stay in office. Look at this pathetic attempt of Joe Biden because he don't want to step his punk ass down. Here we go.
President Biden said yesterday that he's not confident he'd be seeking another term in the White House if Donald Trump was not running.
Would you be running for president if Trump wasn't running?
I expect so, but look, he is running, and I have to run.
Would you drop out if Trump runs out?
No, not now.
So part of the reason he was asked that is because earlier in the day, Mr. Biden attended 3 fundraiser events in Boston where he made very similar comments. So for more on this, we are joined by CBS News senior White House and political.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. I'm not sure if you can actually hear that. Because you hear it? Biden was saying that the reason why he's running is because Trump is running. Then, wouldn't run. I wouldn't run, but I got to run. I got to run because Trump's running. But, so I got to do it. I got to do it. No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to. No, you don't have to do it. You can step your ass aside. So now he's saying we got to stay in Ukraine. We got to keep on standing with Ukraine. Quiet as it's kept, Ukraine and Russia would not be at war if America stepped aside. Yeah, you ever been in a situation? Now, I've never had the luxury of this, but I'm sure some of you have had the luxury of this when you had some people with you one time and you fought somebody because you had backup with you. They sort of like had your back or kind of get on in there. I got you. They standing behind you, giving you the talk. You're going to fight them today. You can get out there and fight. Actually, I did have that situation now I think about it. There was this bigger kid. When I was in elementary school, was a junior high kid who was bullying me. I remember that was a bully. It was a damn bully messing with me. And it was like to the point where, I was punking out. I was like 11, I think, 11 or 12. And I told my older brother. He was like, what? You gonna fight him? I was like, he's 14. He's like, yeah, you gonna fight that 14-year-old. And he took me to the boy's house. He said, where he live? I said, he lived there. He said, come on. And he took me to the boy's door. And he knocked on the door. And I'm sitting there like, oh, man, I hope this boy is smart enough to look out the window and see that, that my brother here and be afraid of my brother, be afraid of him, man. Don't open that door. Somebody gonna get hurt. His dumb ass opened the door anyway. My brother, he was like, so you and Tim said you've been picking on him. So I ain't been picking on him. Yes, that's what he says. What you guys go ahead and fight now. Nobody gonna jump in it, just you two. The boy was like, okay. He was all ready for it, like, okay. See, he didn't realize, now I gotta fight you. He didn't realize that my brother's here and I can't go home without fighting your ass. So the Timmy that I was after school that day when you was picking on me is not the same Timmy. The Timmy that stands before you is Timmy with backup. The Timmy that stands before you don't want to have to deal with his big brother over this. And this Timmy will develop better fighting skills right before your eyes. And I beat his ass. Now, I'm not saying it was Mike Tyson style. But at 11, I think I did okay. It was quick. It was in the hallway. A couple times I missed and scraped my knuckles on the wall. And but I got the better of him. I won the fight. And he didn't want to fight no more. The next day, he didn't want to fight. That means I got them because he didn't want to come back. Because sometimes people want to come back. You got to keep doing it. But see, that's sort of like what's happening with Ukraine. See, America, that's my brother. In that story, America's my brother. And I was Ukraine. And the boy was Russia. But see, in this story, in real life, Ukraine ain't beating Russia. In real life, Ukraine getting his ass kicked. And America's sitting back, making us fight. Yeah. So we got Joe Biden trying to stay in office, but he should just go ahead and have a seat. We got Joe Biden admitting he's only running because of Trump. Oh, the spooky Trump. That's going to do all these things that Nikki Haley won't do, that DeSantis won't do, that Vivek won't do. Nobody else will do it except Trump. And these are not things he did last time. These are the new things he's going to do that are so much worse this time. Oh, they're so much worse. We got to have Biden, the guy with the low approval rating. You realize that Joe Biden's approval rating is at 37. Nobody's had an approval rating at 37 in the last 40 years. That's Joe Biden's approval rating. Now, you might say, hey, Tim, I don't pay attention to polls. Okay. When you feel the way the wind is blowing, the wind is not blowing in his favor, is what I'm trying to tell you. The wind is not blowing in Joe Biden's favor. We got the guy bringing up, well, we got to stick with Ukraine and keep the war going. Why? Why do we got to keep the war going? Well, did I just tell you, presidents have used this to stay and get a second term time and time again. I gave you an example of George W. Bush. He used it to make money for his friends in the military-industrial complex, and also to do what? Get reelected. Because by and large, American public does not like changing administrations during a time of unrest, a time of war. It's a tactic. So we got Joe Biden using it in Ukraine, using it in Afghanistan, and now he's trying to use it again, trying to fan flames and fight in Russia. And he said, oh, and then if that don't work, we still gonna go back to the bag of Trump is so scary, and I'm the only person that can beat him. I would sit down, but then there's Trump, and I'm the only person that can beat this guy. Though you're polling losing to Trump in the polls, and you're losing to Nikki Haley, and you're losing to DeSantis. I don't know who. The only person that can lose to you, the only person that you can beat is your barber. And even he would give you a go. I can't think of anybody that would lose to Joe Biden at this point. Maybe George Santos. George Santos is like the only Republican that's less popular than Joe Biden. You understand what I'm trying to tell y'all guys? Do you get it? Because they like to dismiss my criticism of Joe Biden and saying I'm some type of hater. I ain't no hater. I love black people, man. And black people love me back. They do. But that's not why I love black people, Dr. West said, man. We don't love black people because we want them to love us. We love black people because they deserve to be loved. And that's how you got to look at it. It's not a contingency plan. So we got some people that got it twisted. They're like, well, I try to support the black people since the black people don't embrace me and give me millions of dollars. Therefore, I'm done with the blacks. And then they scurry back over to Whiteville. That's not what Tim Black's doing. I actually believe that there were better policies to help black people that could be found through a progressive agenda. But then once I explored the agenda and I realized, hey, black people are in such a bad situation in America, we need triage. We don't need it. We don't need a doctor's appointment, motherfucker. We need triage. We need bullet holes. Men to 2, 10 to 2 right now. We're going to bleed out. Black people, that's the kind of position we are in. You understand what I'm saying? Black people need triage. We're going to die before we get to the hospital. We need you to do work right here. That's what black people are in America. You know what I'm saying? That's the condition of the black people. If black people are a victim, if black people are a casualty, we need triage work. That's the analogy. And we got people thinking it's okay to say, well, you know what, we can't see it now. Look, here goes the name. Here goes an appointment. Come see me on the third Wednesday of January. Motherfucker, we will be dead by then. Black people need help now. Not to black personally, black people generally. Okay? And I realized that my politics was too lackadaisical for what was going on. The reality of the situation. And that's because I had an opportunity to talk to people that knew more than I did. I humbled myself and I listened to other people who know this shit. And I had like 6 professors come on my show basically and teach my ass. That's what I got. When I had Dr. Derek Hamilton come on. When I had Dr. Sandy Dirty come on the show. When Dr. Cornel West came on the show. How many people do you know have talked to 4, 5, 6 different... I had one panel with 3 different black doctors on it at one time. And we talked about all this shit. Most of the people that y'all listening to don't talk to anybody with any study and any fucking just got an opinion. And I get it. Hey, I get it. It's okay. You know, can't make people listen. But what I'm saying is, I've been trained up because I've used my platform to do these things. It's all available on my 4,500 different videos on this channel. I got more than one channel too. So that's what I learned, right? I learned that black people need triage. We need the trauma unit, motherfucker. And we got people trying to tell us to come see them and take an apple and take some vitamins, some Flintstone vitamins. Motherfucker. We're not Venezuelans. Just looking for a better life. This is our condition in the place where we're supposed to have a better life. Do you understand? Without immigrants coming to America, looking for a better life with hope and gleam in our eyes, hoping we can make more than $3 a day. We are already here in the land, the promised land, and we dying. And we struggling. When you start finding out the real, when you start realizing that there are cities where black people make up 60% of the homeless population, though they're only 5 or 10% of the city's population. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then you'll realize what I'm talking about. You realize the dire need of this. Okay? So we don't have time to play with you. I don't got time to say, ooh, let me just sit over here and just wait for this universal health care. We can't do politics like they do politics. So some of us have it twisted. They love black people, and if black people don't react the way they want them to react, they done kick themselves in the ass running over there to pick up somebody over there. I seen them. But I don't have that luxury. Too black. Can't change it. It's in me. It's bred in me. This is who I am. This is my core beliefs. What did I tell you? Raised a certain way. Been institutionalized a certain way to blackness. This is a part of me. It's running through my veins. I can't undo this. I can get upset, but I can't change it. It's who I am. So I'm always going to say, this is what I have to advocate for. This is what we have to advocate for. So we look at Biden. You can convince yourself if you want to. You can say that's hating. We got some dummies who are so onto the Democratic plantation that they would call a black man who criticizes Joe Biden a coon. You're a coon because you support Trump. First of all, I don't support Trump. Second of all, both of them are white, dummy. Like, you can't say that supporting Trump is cooning when Biden's also white. You got 2 white guys, dumb. Okay? I support Dr. Cornel West, but that's beside the point. The point is, we got some morons. We got some straight-up morons and some liars. And we got some people that are very naive who have convinced black people, mostly older black people, Let's keep it a buck. There are a lot of older black people who are very gullible politically. It doesn't help that we're the only group of people that vote out of fear and out of survival instinct instead of out of self-interest. See, when you vote out of self-interest, you had the courage to say, oh, hold on now. This food got a hair in it. Why my plate got a hair in it? I'm bald-headed, bitch. What's a hair doing in my food? Don't tell me it's mine. I have no hair, okay? And they say, well, sir, the way you're talking, you could get out. Yeah, I could get out of here. You're right, I could get out of here. I'm not going to eat at this place again. I don't give a shit. Well, we're the only diner for 3 miles. Fine. Guess what? I can drink water, bitch. I don't have to eat your food. See, that's how it is when you have self-interest. But see, we got some people who don't feel that way. They're like, I got to eat now. I can't. You said 3 miles. This is the only place in 3 miles? You got a napkin so I can get this hair out of here? And they're going to go ahead and eat the nasty food with the hair in it. I'm not going to do it. Some of our older black folks are stuck in that mentality. We have to help them get out. We got to let them know the world ain't going to stop turning. And as bad as you think it is, it's already bad. You understand? We're already doing bad under Biden. You understand this? We're not doing well. Oh, the unemployment numbers are low. That's bullshit. I said that when Trump was in office. I'm saying it now when Biden's in office. The easiest stat to manipulate is the employment stat. Come on, guys. It's bogus. It means nothing. The employment stat is a false stat. That's what it is. All our kids are doing well. They don't live with us. They all left. Oh, great. Meanwhile, all the kids in jail. They're not living with you because they all in jail. And they all hate you. That doesn't mean you did well because you got an empty nest. That's how the employment stats work. When people don't show up as unemployed, that doesn't mean they have a job. They could be dead. They could be in jail. Or they could be out of unemployment benefits. So the unemployment stats sheet don't mean nothing. And when you've already lost 1 million jobs because of the pandemic shutdown, saying we got 900,000 jobs don't mean nothing. That's basically trying to get back to where you were before the pandemic. So stop telling me about the employment stat numbers and the other BS that everybody always uses. It's garbage. It's a lie. It's fugazi. It's bogus. Do better. Trying to convince people that we have to demand better. Look, if we ain't gonna make the store, we're not gonna make the restaurant clean up its act. They're gonna continue to put hair in our fucking plate. See, Obama was a hair in the plate. Okay? Biden is a used condom in the plate. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna go further. I want to go further than Senator Nina Turner went. Okay? It's a used condom in the plate now. You can't eat this with a good conscience. I can't sit here and watch you eat condom food. There it is. There it is. Well, Nina Turner said a half a bowl of shit versus a whole bowl of shit. Okay, I had to go further. That's right, I'm going to use condom. Beat that. Beat that. Because there's always somebody judging Tim Black going, well, I listen to this person. This person is so much more hostile. He's more rebellious than Tim Black, man. Tim Black ain't strong enough. Whatever, man. You also don't know anything about politics. How long they been covering it? 2 weeks because they saw that it was trending on YouTube. Shit. I remember when I interviewed Donna Bazile and she was up here trying to sell me a whole plate of shit. She basically admitted that the DNC was sabotaging Bernie Sanders. That's part of the reason why his ass lost. Now, he also lost because his ass was soft and he was afraid to go after the black vote as if he wanted to actually get the black vote. Don't know what reparations is when Jewish people got reparations. He understood it when the Jewish people got it and he signed off on it and he voted for it. Fucking Bernie's so old, he probably signed off on the Japanese getting reparations. Did he act like he didn't know what reparations were? So he made his own bed and had to lie in it. That's not my point. The point is, if you've been dealing with politics long enough, then maybe then you can say something to me about what I don't do or if I go strong enough. But it's easy to talk boldly and with a bunch of rhetoric when you don't know anything about what's happening. What I'm trying to tell you is the policies that Joe Biden has implemented have been half measures. I don't care if it's a union shit. I don't care if it's the trade deal. I don't care if it's, he's the $35 insulin deal. How many people realize it's a $35 insulin deal that Joe Biden is credited with doing? That Trump came up with that. And Trump was implementing that, and all Biden did is not turn it off. And there are very many policies. There's a number of policies that Trump put in place that Biden still has on the books that are still in place today that Trump did not reverse. So this whole scare tactic is something they're going to use every election to stay in power. They're not going to do it on my watch. They're not going to do it on my watch. It's going to take for us to be bold enough and say it plainly what it is. Only the black folks need to be educated. We're going to have to reach out to them. We have to be bold and tell them, cut the shit. Stop being afraid of the unseeable. It's bad enough to let people take you for granted, but now they're just basically doing a tap dance on it. Yeah, they're spiking the ball in your face at this point. The Democratic Party is showing us their entire ass, giving us their entire ass to kiss. I'm tired of the Democratic Party putting us on Sports Center every weekend with some bullshit. I'm tired of them posterizing, dunking on us with their crotch in our face every damn time I turn around. If it ain't supporting immigrants, if it isn't funding Ukraine, or some other BS. Joe Biden has ran on scary Trump to this whole time. Even Joe Biden's whole purpose of running is built on a fallacy. You know that whole bullshit? Look, guys, let's be real. Let me be real with you guys real quick, okay? Let me tell you something. For all the people who have accidentally stumbled on my channel who thought they wanted to be watching MSNBC tonight, let me tell you something. CNN, MSNBC, Wall Street Journal, all of them lied. And you bought it too. You know that whole Joe Biden put out that long, dry-ass speech, got to fight for the soul of America, ever since Trump came down that escalator. When he looked out at Charlotte and said, bad people on both sides, good people on both sides. That was a fabricated lie, that's not what he said, that they took him out of context and they edited that. Yeah, that's edited. It's edited. It's not what he said. He didn't say that skinheads and demonstrators who were demonstrating against or protesting against skinheads were good people on both sides. That's not what he said. But people believed it because they believe anything MSNBC and CNN put out. Nah, they edited that. He wasn't talking about the skinheads. And he even said in the actual speech when he said it, he said, I'm not talking about the skinheads. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis. I'm not talking about the people he was talking about the other people that were there, the counter-protesters, not the neo-Nazis, not the skinheads. He even said it. You know what they did? They cut it off and put it out that way so they could fool you. And then what did Joe Biden do? A year later, 2 years later, run against them with doctored footage about, we got to get him out of here. He said the neo-Nazis and the blacks are the same. I can't in good conscience, I can't stand with it. No jokes, not a joke, it's real. Nah, it's a lie. And we got a lot of people to this day who still believe it. To this day, they believe that that's what Trump said. And look, and once again, I voted for Dr. Jill Stein. I didn't vote for Trump. And I didn't vote for Joe Biden. And this time, I'm supporting Dr. Cornel West. I just happen to be a news person. I'm a news guy. I'm a newsman. I'm a real news commentator. I actually look up the stories. I actually do research on the shit. I didn't just accept CNN's version. I actually looked at the tape. It's a lie. And we got Joe Biden running on it again. And he's so arrogant and pompous. I remember when I had Michael Moore on the show. I interviewed him. I was looking forward to that interview too. Great director doing this thing. It wants to be great. This guy carrying water for Joe Biden the whole damn time. Like, come on, man. He's going to say some shit to me like, but Tim, Joe Biden's a really decent guy. When was he decent, Michael Moore? When he was taking the key and throwing it away and locking up black people throwing away the key, that's when he was decent? Sellout motherfucker, when was he decent? You were just saying he was horrible. Part of the reason why I brought you on my show is because of your podcast, Michael Moore. You were calling Joe Biden out. But see, that's when he was supporting Bernie. And when Bernie dropped out, they circled the wagons around Joe Biden. But I didn't circle no goddamn wagons around no damn Joe Biden. So this is the reality, folks. This is what we're dealing with. So we need to, all of the younger black folks need to talk to the older black folks and get their heads right. Get their heads right so they understand what they're dealing with. They're being lied to. And we got liars like Clyburn, Maxine Waters, Whoopi Goldberg. These people lie to help keep the Democratic Party machine running. Do you understand what I'm saying? They lie to keep the machine running. These people do not mean us any good. We need to convince them. We need to tell them. The Oprahs, the Tyler Perrys, hey, just because you make money in business doesn't mean you give a shit about politics. In all the philanthropy in the world, will that make up for a government that overlooks, that neglects black people intentionally? It's called benign neglect. And they sell us this lie. The Democratic Party and this government system is so entrenched, it's so determined not to support black people that they even have black people selling a lie that there's no way the Democratic Party can make policies that actually help only black people. But somehow America was able to make policies that only hurt black people. How they do that the first time? How they do it the reverse way and nobody challenged it constitutionally when they did policies that hurt us? See, me to tell me it's bright, we got all the brightest minds in the country working in our government agencies, developing legislation. We can't word the legislation in a way that it doesn't say the word black, but still somehow it helps black people specifically. I'm supposed to believe that. We got black people with platforms like Roland Martin selling these lies, and we got people that believe it. And he's calling people Simple Simon. We got a grown-ass man, 55 years old, calling people that challenge him Simple Simon. And man, I get on one. I go on my little rants. I do a lot. I go on my rants. Come on, man, that's some corny shit. Tell Roland to take his ass back to the Barbados or wherever his family's from with their bullshit. Come on, there's just so much shit we gonna shovel. All of a sudden, his ass break out of the dashiki and christened himself as the voice of black America. He wasn't the voice of black America when he was on CNN taking them CNN checks, throwing black people under the bus with his bullshit politics, or to go to Frankie Beverly and the Mays concerts. Or to be able to... He one of those black folks, the boule that only concerned with being in the right groups of black people that got money, that the Hollywood elite, some other bullshit. But at the end of the day, how does it help black people? Working class black people and poor black people. We're not even going to talk about poor white people. Roland could give a shit about them, and I get that. But what I'm saying is, let's stop living a fallacy. At least, look, if you're an older black person, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. I remember about 5 years ago, I was watching a Joe Rogan interview with Cenk Uygur from TYT. And they were talking about the corruption of the system and how mainstream media is very corrupt. And Cenk was telling his war stories, and Joe Rogan was asking questions, and they're just doing their little banter, and Joe was acting like he don't understand shit. There's a lot of little stuff going on, but I'll never forget one part of it I thought was funny. Or should I say poignant? I thought it was very interesting because Cenk was saying how, after a while, like once you get to a certain level in the media game, you got so much money that you're making, that you become infected with the money, with the prestige, with the access, with all the trappings of being a successful media entity in this corrupt corporate machine system. The system infects you, okay, like a zombie. You become like a zombie. You got to eat people in order to survive. You could be right in front of you ever notice the zombies could be right in front of a Safeway or a Giant or a deli, and they won't eat any of their deli meat. They got to eat people, right? Well, when you are corrupt in this media game, you got to eat the poor. And when you eat the poor, you always eat the blacks first. And this was, like I said, this was several years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And Joe Rogan looked at him and he said, well, Cenk, when TYT gets so big, and you become so successful, won't it affect you? And I'll shit you not. You can go look the video up. Look up Cenk Uygur, look up Joe Rogan. Cenk looked at the camera and he said, you're right. And when that happens, when we get too big, it'll be time for somebody else to take our place, and they become the voice of the people. I said, bam, that's what I'm talking about. Now, the Young Turks have become too big, and they have become infected, but nobody's been able to replace them because the system likes them right where they are. Faux progressive, faux fighting for the people, and we got people that are dumb enough to think they're fighting for the people because they hired Dr. Rashad Ritchie. It's Schuster, David Schuster. But still, or they cover a black guy gets beat up by a white cop. Like, that's all they have to do. Nah, man. It's, they basically MSNBC-like. Basically. You know what I'm saying? But really, rebellion, rebel news is calling it out. News is fighting for the lower class. I told you we got a class struggle going on. Black people got more than just colorization. We're dealing with the class issue. What the rich black folks think, what the well-to-do black folks with the cake, they don't have the same struggles, nor are they even interested in fighting for the poor blacks. Dr. Cordell West, how do you put it? If the rich black kids were dying at the rate of the poor black kids, we'd have a different type of black politics. Same thing holds true for white people. If rich white kids die like poor white kids, oh shit. If rich white kids were ODing the way poor white kids are, woo! There would be a new America tomorrow. I realized this. I was talking to Mrs. Black recently about this. I said, whenever all of the members of the GOP use black people to run. So I remember back in doing my research, back in the 60s, these Republicans, they used blackness to run their races. They called it the Southern strategy, where they ran on hate and stereotypes against black people. Reagan did it as well. He ran on the whole welfare queen and black people getting entitlements. So that whole thing. that still happens. Every Republican candidate running for office in the GOP is running on anti-blackness. They just don't call it anti-blackness. Every candidate is running on anti-blackness. You have to understand this. When Vivek runs on anti-wokeness, that's against black people. That's code word. See, if you don't understand this stuff, let me educate you. When these GOP members are talking about we need to defeat wokeness, they're talking about consideration of black people. We need to stop treating black people as humans. Not that America does fully. This whole thing that black people are second-class citizens, nah, you're either citizens or you're not. That's what Malcolm X told us. You're either a citizen or you're something else. There's no such thing as second-class citizens. White people never had to fight for civil rights. Because black people are the only ones that need civil rights, because we're the only ones that got to be civil with, which means treat us like human beings. Get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Civil rights, like, you know, when kids are fighting, and the person comes and says, everybody be civil. Be civil. Stop beating this one up. Be civil. You don't have to say that to white folks because it doesn't need to be said, because as persons like you're like the same. You're both human. Vivek Ramaswamy is running on anti-blackness. Ron DeSantis is running on anti-blackness against the woke. It's the same thing. It's their version of the welfare queen. It's their version of super predators. It's the same thing. And just like that, with Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, we're talking about super predators, we had a class of black people that assisted them. They assisted. They were the ones in the Congressional Black Caucus who supported Joe Biden, who supported Bill Clinton with this rhetoric and with this lie. Now, the poor black people that were living in the hoods, who were dealing with the fact that the CIA put crack in the neighborhoods to fund the Contras and the rebels, right? In the Nicaragua, Oliver North, ring a bell. Now, you know what if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the show, Snowfall. It's all facts. It happened. America brought drugs in America and sold it to black folks in the hood in order to fund a rebellion in Nicaragua, the Sandinistas, the rebels. Well, we had these politicians running on this. So we have black people then that were like, yeah, we need to do something about the crime. We need to do something about the crime. Throw the key away. Lock up these blacks and throw the key away. Throw the key away on these young people. Throw the key away on these poor black people. These are animals. These are savages. We need to bring them to heel. These were Democrats. We had black people that were making money. Elite blacks with money. In Congressional Black Caucus, making their paper, who co-signed it, who agreed with it. That's why to this day, neither Joe Biden nor Bill Clinton will admit they were even wrong. Hillary's the only one that came out and said she was wrong and admitted it because Hillary Clinton really wanted to become president. That's what she's really mad about. She did all that apologizing. Remember that white girl? Remember that black girl? Remember that young black girl that interrupted her at a fundraiser about her rhetoric of super predators? Calling black kids animals? Remember this? And Hillary was like, you need to get out of here right now. And I was saying, get this little nigger out of here, please. Remember this? Do you remember this? I remember it. So if you listen to commentators who haven't even been doing this long enough to even know the 2020 election, the 2016 election, the 2008 election, what are they doing? What are they doing really? All they know how to do is tell black people don't vote. Now, man, I'm trying to drop knowledge, man. It's great to listen to them, but add me to your rotation so you know what the fuck is going on, man. You understand that these things matter. As much as I don't like Roland's politics, Roland has information. It's a damn shame he does the wrong thing with the information, but he has the information. He has track record. He's been doing it for 30 years. He can tell you who voted on what bill and what cost, okay? So we don't have to agree on something. We can disagree on some things, but I can get a man props on what he's right on. What he's right on is his knowledge of the historical record. I can't take that from him. But what I want you to understand is, if you don't understand what Bill Clinton ran on, if you don't understand what Joe Biden helped implement, if you don't understand Hillary Clinton's role in it, then you don't even understand what you're seeing when you see Vivek and DeSantis. It's the same shit. They switched the tone, they switched the words up. Lee Atwater was a political strategist who worked for Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. And he talked about the Southern strategy and the way that you use race to get elected. Here's a clip from The Nation.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist, or no, as a psychologist, which I'm not, is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words, you start out, and now y'all aren't quoting me on this. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts you, backfire. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want is much more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than nigger, nigger, you know. So any way you look at it, race is coming on the back burner.
Welfare queens. Look at all the money Vivek's raised. Why did he raise it? Anti-woke. Anti-woke means anti-black. If you don't know, if you don't keep nothing else in your head, please keep this in your head. When they say anti-bloke, when they say against bloke wokeness, anti-woke, realize that means black people. That's what it means. That's what it means. The Democratic Party, unless Joe Biden steps down, will be Joe Biden. The rest is a game, okay? That's why I support Dr. Cornel West, because he ain't running as a Democrat. Anybody running in the Democratic Party is running for something else, okay? Not to beat Joe Biden. That's why RFK switched. Did you even know who Vivek was? Vivek wants an opportunity to be Andrew Yang. Did you know who Andrew Yang was until he ran? Come on, guys. Realize this is a business move. You think Tim Scott thought he was going to win something? Come on, man. It's got nothing to do with winning. And as a political analyst, what I look at is the impact it has on our society. The impact that it has on society and the popular opinion of the environment and on pop culture. I'm looking at that as well. And there's currency being able to wield or have an impact on public opinion. And that's what someone like Vivek can do with this slandering of wokeness. That's what DeSantis has been able to do. You understand what I'm saying? DeSantis is not going to be president either. Come on, man. DeSantis is as off-putting as foot fungus. People have convinced themselves to try to like him because they like the fact he's anti-black. He checked the first box. This is why you cannot be a black Republican, other than for your tax breaks. Because the first box you got to check as a black Republican is be anti-black. And I know we got some black brothers that are trying to buck that, and some black sisters as well that are trying to buck that system. I understand that. But I'm saying, generally speaking, this is why Tim Scott had such a hard time. he must check the box anti-black. Now, if you're a Democrat, you got to check it as well, but in a different way. You got to make sure you never, ever, 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 ever give black people the impression that you are actually going to help them. Because that will undermine the actual nominee that they want to win. It is what it is. That is why Obama won. If Obama would have actually ran on helping black people, Obama would have never won. They would have done everything in their power to stop him internally. America would have... We have to break this system, totally break the system. That's what a third party gives us an opportunity to do, to break the system. That's why I support third parties. That's why, as long as I've been doing this show, I have never supported any of the major party candidates, ever. Now, I know that's weird, right? If you're new to this show and you heard about me, you probably heard something different. I've never supported any of the major parties for president, ever, as long as I've been hosting this show. And I've been on this channel for 13, 14 years, okay? Well, not 13, 14 years. I'm sorry, since 2012. Okay? What about drums? Give me some drums. I've never, ever supported a mainstream candidate from the Democratic or the Republican Party since I've been here, and that's been since 2012. 2012, 2013. Okay? That's as far back as I go. But you may have heard something different. Now, I wonder why you heard that. I wonder why the lie was put out there that I did. What gave you that impression, and who gave that impression to you? Not to make this about me, because it ain't about me, but I'm just saying it's kind of funny. I need you to ask yourself that question. Because it's on the channel. I interviewed the Green Party people several times in 2015. I've interviewed Dr. Cornel West several times here in 2023. Started interviewing him when? In 2020, 2019. I know he's going to run for president. So there it is. And I did not vote for Joe Biden in 2020. There it is. You know, it's okay to disagree with me, but you ain't got to lie about me. It's okay to disagree with me. It's fine not to like my ass. But you ain't got to make up stories. So look, it is what it is. It is what it is. But this is just something I've noticed. Maybe the politics has always been this way. But anti-blackness keeps America floating, baby. And they keep using it. It's the go-to. Because as much as people tell you that racism is dead, that's a lie. It's got different ways of implementing it and different ways of running on it. Different ways of using it to their benefit, because America is so racist. They can use it to their benefit until they can find a better way. The Democrats use racism too. They just reverse it and use it the other way. They use it like, well, if you don't get us, then you're going to be stuck with the Klan. That's using racism too. That's using racism. They're trying to use it now with the abortion thing. And it may work. It may help them. But even that's how bad Biden is. We have Trump. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is funny. Joe Biden is such a bad candidate. Joe Biden is so bad at what he does. Joe Biden's administration is so bad. Joe Biden is such a bad candidate that we have white women who still won't support him, even though Trump trying to outlaw abortion. Now, by and large, women are pro-choice. But there are women that are like, win some, you lose some. That's how much they dislike Joe Biden. Now, no one's asking white women. No one's threatening white women. You know? No one's saying to white women, more white women voted for Trump than voted for Biden. Okay? But no one's threatening them. No one's saying, you sellout woman. How could you? It's funny. It's funny. But that's how bad Biden is doing. Biden can't even use it. It's not even, you would think that would tip the scales into the Democrats' favor just by the abortion debate. You would think that would tip the scales into the favor of Joe Biden. But that's not even enough to get him over the hump. He's still at 37%. 37%, think about that. With the wind at his back on abortion. Joe Biden couldn't be the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. But you want to blame black people like me who don't support him. It is what it is. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Tim Scott is pathetic. He is pathetic, but that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I know what you mean, Arlene. I know what you mean. But that's not the point. He's as successful as Kamala Harris was. And she's vice president. Well, Kamala Harris was so bad, she had to get out of the race just before they did California, because if she would have stayed in that race and got no delegates, lost her own state after getting trampled like she did, her political career may have been over. Unfortunately for her, as vice president, she's had an opportunity to talk, or should I say, she's had the misfortune of being forced to talk off the cuff, and people realize, damn. Different story when you got prepared remarks by your staff sitting at a court hearing with Brett Kavanaugh. Totally different system than when you on a stump or when you're giving a speech or you're, so where was she at? Like, where was she when she was talking to a world leader and it was like, God damn, what is wrong? What is wrong with her? How many medications is she on? How much wine did they give her? What is wrong with her? She sounded worse than Amy Klobuchar. We got to realize what we're dealing with, man. I'm telling you, man, everybody go get an older black friend. Talk to him. Talk to him. Get an older black friend. I don't care what you got to do. Shovel their snow, rake their leaves, become their friend, and peel them away from the Democratic Party. Peel them away from the Democratic Party. It's got to change. We got to do something. Help! It's that time. Yeah, man, Joe Biden's just a narcissist. He just believes that he should be president. I mean, he ran 3 times. He ran 3 times. And, you know, and he's like, and quiet as it's kept, it has been kept pretty quiet. But there are books out there that have been written about the real relationship between Joe Biden and Obama. It wasn't nice. It wasn't so nice. Okay? Okay? All right, listen here. Say nice. Joe Biden was picked to be Obama's VP, not because Obama had any respect for Joe Biden at all. In fact, he couldn't stand him. That did not change when he became VP. Joe Biden was despised by Obama. And Obama despised Joe Biden. I remember Joe Biden on the campaign trail. How many people remember back in 2008 when Joe Biden was like, Obama's the first time we've ever had he's a very clean and articulate black person. Wow. It's like, first time we had a black person running who was clean and could talk. You thought Obama liked that shit? Oh, that was some racist shit to say. A lot of people overlooked it. I didn't. So, Obama had to get Joe Biden in order to get racist white folks. They felt more comfortable having Joe Biden there. They knew nothing very supportive of black people was going to happen. At least they felt that if Obama tried to help black people, Joe would talk him out of it. Because that's been Joe Biden's legacy, okay? Joe Biden has been punitive to black people. Here this guy giving speeches about, I was around the black people and I went to the pool and I worked as a lifeguard. Like I said, wake up, man. We're the screwdriver. What's that screwdriver with all the stuff on it? Swiss Army knife. We're the Swiss Army knife for white America. We're the Swiss Army knife of America. Every group uses us as a stepping stone. Every group uses what we brought, what has happened with civil rights that they now get to enjoy. And then they come in here and they dog us and they step over us. They step on us to step over us with a Swiss Army knife. And then we got a bunch of dummies going, you're being divisive and negative. There is nothing black people could ever do to hurt any immigrants that come here, dum-dum. My opinion of America's policies towards black people and how they play those people against black people to keep us on the bottom, if you can't see that, I can't help you. You'd have to give a shit to look that up. But Joe Biden has never been a friend of black people. Neither has Obama. Name what Obama's really done. But anyway, be that as it may, the point is, Joe Biden and Obama are not friends. And part of the reason why Biden ran is because he wanted to give a middle finger to Obama. Biden was pissed that Obama endorsed Hillary over Joe Biden. Biden wanted to win in 2020. Not 2020, 2016. Biden wanted to run in 2016. But Obama endorsed Hillary. You don't remember that? Do you realize how much of a slap in the face it was for the vice president to have Obama reach over and tap Hillary, his Secretary of State, and get behind her? Do you realize that? So a lot of what you're seeing is the fallout. So what I'm saying is Biden is such a selfish, egotistical narcissist. He sat there stewing and brewing from 2016 to 2020, thinking I'll show that nigga I'm going to become president, with or without him. And then Obama, being the company guy that he is, he got in and helped Joe Biden get over the hurdle. He did it for the party, and he did it for his own pocketbook too, his own self-interest, because that's part of his legacy. I'm tired of people walking around believing that Biden did something great for Obama, and then Obama and Biden are friends, and Biden really helped Obama. And they love each other. They got a bromance. Man, if you don't stop believing everything corporate media tell you, what no goddamn bromance. You know how many parties Obama had at the White House? He never invited Biden to any of them. All those parties, remember all those lush galas? Obama's got Jay-Z and Beyonce at the White House. Obama's got the 76ers. Obama's got, I don't know, Siegfried and Roy at the White House. Obama's got the cast of Friends at the White House. Guess who wasn't there? Biden. My point is that Biden is running because Biden is a selfish, egotistical narcissist. He's running for himself. And he's going to use the same shit he used last time. Oh, look who's Trump. You've been telling me for 2 years that Trump is going to jail. Now you're running on me because of what? I thought he had broke all these laws, is going to jail, right? So what are you talking about? And since that's not working the way he thought it was going to work, now it's, oh, we got to go to war. We got to fight Ukraine. We got to fight Ukraine against Russia. Now, fuck you. No, we don't. No, we don't. See, put the dagger in this Biden shit. Let's cut the cord. Don't listen to these sellouts. these elite black folks who are getting all this paper to ride the gravy train, who don't want to tell the truth because they want to try to get some money out of the Biden administration, try to get some money out of the Kamala Harris administration, trying to get some money from the Act Blue, PAC, the whatever. These people, that's really what it's about. You do realize this, right? So many people need to understand how this shit works. There's so much money changing hands behind the scenes. I told you guys, most of the people that are upset that Hillary lost, only upset because they didn't get to move to D.C., and they had already put in their requests. They thought this was a done deal, Johnson. They underestimated Trump. They ran their race. They elevated Trump. They told all the papers to cover Trump. They want the nominee to be Trump, and then what did Trump do? Beat the brakes off Hillary. Don't tell me, oh, it's just the Electoral College. Yeah, and that's how Biden won, Electoral College. You were complaining when Biden won by that shit. What I'm saying is there were a lot of people in the Democratic apparatus who were upset when Hillary lost, not because they like Hillary. Hillary's an off-putting person. I've known people that have dealt with Hillary. When I was working in D.C., I knew people that had met Hillary. They weren't like, wow, Hillary. They were like, oh. But I knew a couple people that had met her, and they didn't think she was that. And I don't know why Mary J. Blige was serenading her at that time, but the truth is, Hillary is not a very nice person, not a gracious person. She's full of shit. Now, Bill Clinton, different story. Bill Clinton's actually very smooth, interesting. He has a way with people. Charismatic, or Rizza. What's it, Riz? He's Riz. He's got Riz. Feel what I'm saying? But scumbag. But these are just facts, man. People need to understand. That's why I say it's important to know the facts, to know some of the surrounding, the context, so you can really understand what's happening. I'm trying to tell you guys, once again, I'm just going to wrap it up, but I want people to realize when they say anti-woke, when they say defeat wokeness, they're talking about defeating black people and defeating this fake in the mind of a racist. In the mind of a racist is black people taking over everything. It's reverse racism. There is not an indicator in the country that supports the theory that black people are taking over America. Not a single thing. No matter what Ben Shapiro says, no matter what Tucker Carlson says, no matter what Candace Owens says, it's not a slither of a true figure that they can point to that says that white people need to be afraid that black people are taking their spot. This is bullshit. But they had this fear. They've always had this fear. All the system does is use that racist fear against them to stay in power and to attract money and to build a campaign that does what? Raises your profile so you can make more what? Money. That's all it ever is. More money has been made off of it. When people say, it's not just racism, it's the money that's raised off racism. It's not just burning crosses. That's so 1970. It's so 1965, 1955. You don't burn no damn cross, you write a book. You run for president. You go anti-woke. You stage a boycott. You walk away. Remember that guy? It was like a gay hairdresser from Phoenix or something. The walk away movement. How much money he made off that? A lot. There is, anti-blackness is worth a lot of money in America. We ain't picking cotton, but they're still picking, using us in order to make money. We're no longer the beast of burden, but we're still the vessel that they make money off of. Because there's a steady stream of new racists in America that they can always use fear. They use fear against them in order to stay in power. Using fear of blacks. So that's what it is, man. It's just Americana. It's patented America. Just remember, guys, when the Nazis were trying to come up with a way to try to do their evil deeds, they developed their strategy by looking at the way America treated black people. Just remember that. We wrote the book. And that is some potent shit, and that book works, and it works over generations. All right, guys, my name is Tim Black. Become a member of the Tim Black Show. Join me here on YouTube, guys. This is an extended show. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad we did an extended show today because it's good to open up, man. I'm looking to do more of this. I'm looking to do more like in-depth conversations. I'd rather have an in-depth conversation with somebody beside myself, you know, because I could go on a tangent. Good to have some questions in there. But you feel what I'm saying? Become a member of the show. Go to Join Tim Black to become a Patreon. Go to, you know, or you can join here on YouTube, even Facebook. But we're going to keep up the good fight. We are going to keep up the good fight. We're going to keep doing what we do here. Continue to bring in the news to the best of my ability and to call it out and to keep it straight. We got to keep on. We got to keep pressing on, all of us. I want to thank my moderators. I want to thank my VIPs. I appreciate y'all coming through. Thank you, Sign of the Times. Thank you for moderating. Once again, thank you, Arlene. Black Magic for moderating as well. Thank you, Buck Bewley, for moderating. I think I got all my moderators tonight. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll see you on the next one. And look, remember, like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. When they say, Tim Black, why do you support Dr. Cornel West? And why are you calling out Joe Biden? And why are you refusing to just go quietly in the night? Why are you fighting so hard? Tell them like I say. It's a new day. Always.
Differences for the time being. Got a job to do. Shake hands. Shake hands. Nice, very nice. Truce. Fucking beautiful. Hey, Hewlett. Why don't you take some of this stuff home with you? Me and Foley, we didn't even finish the pastrami sandwiches.
I know, Dutch. It ain't necessary.
It's just gonna go in the garbage otherwise. You got all them grandkids to feed.
It ain't necessary.
Don't be proud. Wrap up the scraps and take them home.
Thank you, Dutch.
It ain't nothing.
Seeking unbiased news? Discover the new Tim Black television network, where truth and integrity lead the way. We're committed to honest reporting and empowering you with factual, unfiltered information. Join a community that values transparency and critical thinking. Ready for news that respects your intelligence? Visit jointimblack.com. Embrace the change, because at Tim Black Television Network, our truth matters. Sign up today for a new kind of news experience. It's a new day.